Problem for Australia is they have really lacked penetration. Koreans happy to let the Olyroos have the ball in this part of the field. As soon as they get over halfway, they press. And even getting up to halfway is proving problematic at the moment. Here's Metcalf. Just nothing on. Glover to put his foot through it. Loose ball, one in the air by Won-doo-jae. Kim Dae-won. The Koreans touch so sure on the ball, or at least it normally is. 50-50 ball between Won-doo-jae and O'Neill, and both of them missed it. Kim Dae-won. Nice touch out wide by Oh Se-hun. Kim Dae-won again. Combines well with Kang Yun-song on the left. Won-doo-jae. Mordakuta standing his ground. And Gabriel Kleur finally linking up with Bahaja. They've not been able to do that too often now. Can Australia create something here? Lee Sang-min ensures that they don't. And the Koreans have got a bit of a problem over one of their players. Whack on the wrist, I think, in that challenge with Mordakutas for Oh Se-hun. And he's come the closest to breaking the deadlock out of the two teams. An effort that struck the post with real power on 24 minutes. That's how his injury occurred, in that little tangle with Tas Mordakutas. He'll just take a breather. The big striker who's scored a couple of goals at this tournament already against Uzbekistan, and that was very nearly a third. As I said, he's been sharing the central striking roles with his good friend and roommate at the hotel, Cho Kyu-song. Kim Hak-bum has rotated them game by game. It's Oh's turn tonight. This is Kim Dae-won. Goes back, having a reach for it. Oh Se-hun to lay it off. Cross low in towards Won-wong-sang. Problems looming potentially for the Olyroos, but Aidan O'Neill helps it out of play on that far touchline. Their 59-year-old coach, Kim Hak-bum. Jong Tae-wook. And off the head of Gersbach, and Ryan has to be mindful of the fact that the pacey Won-sang is right on his tail. I don't know whether he's as good as Mo Salah, Won-sang, but he's certainly got speed. This is Jung. Off the head of Ryan. Bahaja losing out to Won-doo-jae. Kim Dae-won with a little pirouette. He's going to have a dig here. Rebounds back off Mordakutas. Fair to say that even though the Olyroos have been second best in terms of possession and probably, well, not probably, definitely scoring chances created, but they have defended by and large pretty well. Just that one big scare when Oh Se-hun hit the post. As mentioned, they have shown an ability to dig in. They may need all that resolve against what appears to be probably a team that's a little bit superior technically. Gersbach. Sure, Graham Arnold would love to see Gersbach and Kleur in more advanced positions. Gersbach has probably chosen his moments a little bit more carefully than Kleur, who's, you can see in the widescreen angle there, much higher up the pitch than Gersbach. Strong win in the air from Kang. Now Australia can advance. Kleur on the right. Oh dear. That's probably the best crossing position he's been in the whole game. Unfortunately, he's rather spoiled that opportunity. The Koreans with the advantage in the stands. Trying to make a bit of noise. The ground largely empty. Final of this tournament, of course, will be played at the rather more cavernous Rajamangala in Bangkok. That's against Saudi Arabia on Sunday. Australia hoping to be there. Maybe they can construct something here. Kleur, O'Neill, Metcalf, and Gersbach. Metcalf again, thought about the cross. They're building nicely here, Australia. They have an end product. Gersbach looking to find the angle for the cross, and he did. And Al Hassan Toure was just looking to help it into that far top corner. Well defended in the end by Lee Sang-min, but more encouragement for Graham Arnold. They were patient there and built quite nicely. Song Bum Kun untroubled as yet. Australia will have a corner. Well, at least they should have done, surely. The thumbs up suggests that perhaps they do have that set-piece opportunity. Had to be, didn't it, really? Off Lee Yu-hyun. Taken short. Back through Gersbach. That's the angle now for the cross. And dug out towards Bahaja. And there was a moment's panic there. Jong Tae-wook in the end slices it over the top of his own crossbar. It was dug out well by Dylan Ryan at the second attempt whilst he was on the floor. Just wouldn't quite sit for Trent Bahaja, and Jong Tae-wook got rid. Again, Australia worked the corner short, but Gersbach not with the best release towards him. Lee Sang-min with a clearing header on the volley, just wide from Dylan Ryan. Australia's best chance of the game. And it was their central defender who had to take it first time on the full. Under pressure too. They got relatively clean contact, but just unfortunately for Australia, not the direction. But that's better. And the Olyroos finishing the half in more positive fashion. Easy win in the air for Oh Se-hun. Oh, it's lovely, lovely stuff. Oh, Kim Dae-won. That would have been a glorious goal. My goodness. What close control. He left the defenders trailing in his wake, and Tommy Glover is so happy to see that one sail wide of the post. That was terrific skill from Kim Dae-won. He is known as Daegu's Kevin De Bruyne. Tell you they love their nicknames. But in that moment, you could see why. And just at the point in the game where Graham Arnold was thinking, yeah, that's much better. We're starting to get a grip on the game. They had a mighty scare then, didn't they, in first half stoppage time. Gabriel Clerc penalised. Might not even be time for this free kick to be taken. Glance at the watch from Nawaf Shukrala. Yep, thought that might be the case. So half-time in Rangsit. Australia have found chances hard to create. Dylan Ryan with the best one of them. But straight after that, South Koreans went up the other end. Kim Dae-won with a glorious piece of close control, flashing his shot just wide of Tom Glover's left-hand upright. Before that, Oh Se-hun had come closest of all. He struck the post, but at the break we're no nearer to knowing who will play Saudi Arabia in Sunday's final of the AFC Under-23 Championships. Australia still hoping to secure one of those 3 golden tickets to the Tokyo Olympics. Half-time in Rangsit. It is goalless, and we'll be back in 15 minutes with the second half. See you then. Thanks, mate. Sure. I will. I'll make it quite clear. Now, obviously, just so you know, if it's a draw at the end of 90 minutes, we'll go into extra time. So that you might have to just schedule some sort of a break. So normally take 5 minutes. Have a 2-minute break on standby just in case they finish level. They'll come back for extra time. Two halves of 15 minutes each, with a 1-minute break in between. You don't need to go the break in between extra time halves, and then if necessary, they'll go to penalties, which might take a little while. But anyway, we'll worry about that when we get there. Okay. Just so you're aware. How long have you left on the break? Yeah, you can do. Yeah, I'm happy for you to come back whenever you're ready. Okay, Fans settling back into their seats in Rangsit as we get ready for the second half. Goalless at the break in this semi-final of the AFC Under-23 Championships between Australia and South Korea. And the Koreans have made a change at half-time. Lee Dong-jun has replaced the rather tricky Won Sang on the right-hand side. And Australia, for their part, have made a change as well. Like-for-like replacement. Denny Jonro of Melbourne City, replacing his club teammate, Connor Metcalfe. So 45 minutes to claim a place in the final against Saudi Arabia. And more importantly, a place at the Tokyo Olympics come July. They have a habit of playing off for big prizes, these two nations, don't they? 5 years ago this month that Australia and South Korea met in the final of the Asian Cup. Men's senior football. Australia prevailed in extra time that day. We might need extra time or even penalties again today. They've been pretty tightly locked in that first 45. South Korea probably on top in terms of chances created. Australia throwing a couple of punches themselves towards the edge of that first half, with Dylan Ryan in particular flashing one just wide. So it's the South Koreans who get us back underway, kicking from right to left in this second half. Reminder that even for the losers tonight, there is a second chance at a spot in Tokyo, the third and fourth place playoff, which is on Saturday against the defending champions of this tournament, Uzbekistan. And the winners of that particular game will also go forward to Tokyo. 3 teams to go through, 1 to miss out from the semis. Let's hope it's not Australia. Let's hope that change at halftime. Maybe gives Australia a little bit more control in midfield. Denny Jonro certainly did that in earlier games. Shot fired in from Kim Dae-won, not for the first time tonight, at the outset of the second half. And Tom Glover having to get quickly across his line. The Korean De Bruyne. And it bounced awkwardly in front of Tom Glover. Decent save in the end. South Korea trying to force the issue perhaps at the outset of this second half. It is going to be Kim Dae-won. He'll deliver the corner, or at least tap it short for Kim Dong-hyun. Here he is again, Kim Dae-won. Steered away by Keanu Bacchus. And Australia have the chance potentially to break. Trent Bahadur is quick. Al Hassan Toure can try and find him. It's not a good release by the Adelaide United striker. That opportunity was really on there for Australia. Needed better quality from Al Hassan Toure. Jong Tae-wook goes down and cries out in pain, but play continues. The Koreans could be in here. The angle is very, very narrow for the substitute Lee Dong-jun, and he can't convert. Well, lots of action at both ends at the start of the second half. Is a great touch from Oh Se-hun to release Lee Dong-jun freshly into the action. Tom Glover had all the angles covered. The Olyroos perhaps still ruining that missed opportunity that they had, courtesy of the little counter-attack involving Bahadur and Al Hassan Toure. Well, free kick's gone Australia's way. It's not for that challenge, it's for the one that came just prior to that. Bahadur beat in the air. Kim Dong-hyun to try and float it forward. Australia look as though they're playing a little bit higher up the pitch at the start of this second half. Maybe under instruction from Graham Arnold. Trying to be a little more proactive than they were first 45. Aidan O'Neill, who earned his place after a very impressive cameo against Bahrain in the final group game, and then did well against Syria. Jonro, O'Neill into the box, and he kicked More of Lee Sang-min than the ball, unfortunately, for Australia. Didn't really get anywhere near the football. It was his through ball, of course, Aidan O'Neill's, that gave Al Hassan Toure the opportunity to score the winning goal in the quarter-final against Syria. It's Australia doing the pressing high. First half it was South Korea. Oh, it's not a great clearance from Song Bum-kun. He's got away with that one. Forward by Kang and out by Bacchus. Things starting to hot up in Rangsit. Well kept in by Bahaji, but very tidy feet by Kim Dong-hyun. This is Kim Dae-won. Sending Lee Yu-hyun scampering away to that far touchline. As he tried to recover his balance, he lost possession of the ball. Oh, Se-hun, such a threat in the air. It'll drop here for Kim Dae-won. Problems for Australia. And again, he flashes wide of that right-hand upright. That's twice now. No reaction from Kim Hak-bum, the coach. But he does love to shoot from outside the penalty area, Kim Dae-won. We saw that in first half stoppage time, and twice already at the outset of the second half. He's had chances on the edge of the box. Not been able to take one yet. Must have taken a touch off a defender on the way through. The corner again tapped short. This is a familiar routine. Kim Dae-won looking for Oh Se-hun off the post. And Australia somehow survive. Well, South Korea thought they had the opening goal. In fact, it's the big defender, Jong Tae-wook, who is unlucky. It's always one of the two, isn't it? In an aerial sense for South Korea. Well, that's twice now they've struck the woodwork. Australia, their goal has led a charmed life at the outset of this second stanza. Kim Dae-won, more conventional delivery this time. At the near post was Bacchus. Complete miscue from Jung Sung-won. Resets through Kang Yun-sung. Graham Arnold urging greater focus. But he would have expected this. Such a good side, technically, the South Koreans. And they have the ability, of course, to mix things up with the height of Jong Tae-wook and Oh Se-hun as well. Al Hassan Toure foraging deep for possession. Able to turn, everybody drawn towards the left flank. Al Hassan Toure. Will it reach Gersbach? Not quite. Lee Yu-hyun with the sliding intervention. And then the foul from Denny Jonro on Lee Dong-jun, the two substitutes. Pretty blatant trip it was as well, wasn't it, from the Melbourne City midfielder. Some concern that Denny Jonro's tournament might be over when he rolled an ankle in training ahead of the Bahrain game. Went for scans on that ankle and they've been nursing him through really ever since, but deemed good to go today. Here's that chance earlier on. Jong Tae-wook, Glover was beaten. Just wouldn't sit for Lee Dong-jun on the rebound. have been the most consistent side of this tournament, won all 4 of their games. Here's Kim Dae-won again, leading the Australian defence a merry dance. Gabriel Kleur to clear. Last touch off Toure. Graham Arnold's demand for energy from his team. Easier said than done, of course, in these conditions, hot and humid. That's a foul, though, surely. And Jacob Italiano. Lee Yu-hyun arriving late. Bahar just not really been able to get into the game. And that one sort of scruffy half chance in the first half where it wouldn't quite sit for him. Another glimpse of an opening when Al-Hassan Toure really should have played him in at the start of the second. Here's Kleur. Bacchus. He's got that all wrong, Keanu Bacchus. What does Graham Arnold do to try and arrest this forward momentum of the South Koreans? And this man in particular, Kim Dae-won, look at that for a ball. This is Jung Sung-won. Kim Dae-won again. Worked out by Won Du-jae towards the right. And the shot off the post again. This time they score on the follow-up. Kim Dae-won, third time of asking. South Korea lead. And in all fairness, you can't say that they haven't deserved that. On balance at the outset of the second half, Tom Glover is finally beaten. And Kim Dae-won, who's been one of the game's most outstanding players, has his reward. The initial shot from Lee Yu-hyun came back off the post. But Kim Dae-won was expertly positioned to finish it off. And Australia have cracked. Well, he's such a good player, Kim Dae-won. It's his third goal for the under-23s. That's why his fans at the stand love him. It's his name they are chanting around this sparsely populated Thammasat Stadium in Rangsit. And now Australia have to come out. Not that they've not tried not to, but by and large they've been forced back by this very, very good South Korean team. And that's a mistake from Dylan Ryan. More pressure. Lee Dong-jun on the right. Oh Se-hun waiting at the near post, but it'll be a corner for the Koreans. Ryan atoning at least in part for his own error. But these are crucial moments for Graham Arnold's team. They have to try and stay in the game here. They've got to keep an eye on Jong Tae-wook, the number 5, and Oh Se-hun, the number 18. Lee Sang-min, the captain, is up there as well. Again, it's tapped short and then slung in. Mordakutis underneath it. This is Kang Yun-song. Seen off at the pass by Denny Jonro. Can Australia spring a counter themselves? Up by Gersbach. Bahaja. It's tough to make it stick, and he might have been a touch late there on Kim Dong-hyun. Just found it really difficult to get into the game, Bahaja and Italiano and Toure. Each of Australia's front three have really fed on scraps. Here's that man again, Kim Dae-won. can see the De Bruyne likeness, can't you? Right-footed, but operates on the left, loves to cut in and shoot with that powerful right foot. Can Australia create something in response? Aidan O'Neill. Bacchus, not the best ball for Kleur. And from an attacking position, Australia can end up all the way back with their goalkeeper, Tom Glover. Which will be really frustrating, no doubt, for Graham Arnold. Mordakutis. Genro. Goes back in a more advanced position than we've seen, and there's no foul on the Australian captain. And goes back now out of position, and South Korea will look to profit from that. It's Lee Dong-jun. It was an amazing dribble before he was stopped in his tracks by Dylan Ryan. And that is the problem for Australia, the gamble that they're going to increasingly have to take to push the likes of Gersbach forward. The South Koreans so good in transition. And passes like that don't help, to be honest. And now a plate in ranks it. Kim Dae-won's goal, separating the two teams. At the moment, they're heading for Tokyo in July. And Australia will be facing Uzbekistan for the final tickets on Saturday. Kim Dae-won. Kang Yun-sung. Kim Dong-hyun. Kim Dae-won skips away from Kleur. Oh, not once, but twice. Oh, he's just mesmerising, isn't he, when he gets going? Where most of South Korea's threat came in the first half, and it's been a similar story in the second. It's good intervention by Kleur, but he wasn't really helped out that much by Bahaja, and in the end, a foul by Keanu Bacchus. Kim Dong-hyun. It's going to be a corner. Final touch off Tas Mordakutis. Well, second change to be made by the Koreans. Lee Dong-yong. He's going to be on next break in play. Meantime, Kim Dae-won lifting it into the box. Clearing headed by Bahaja. Back in by Kang. And here's Jong, a big central defender. He's so strong, isn't he? Jong Tae-wook. And that strength created the half chance. Here's that second change. Lee Dong-gyong to replace Jung Sung-won. So the end of the section for the attacking midfielder from Daegu, and here comes Lee Dong-yong, who's a similar sort of a player, 22 years of age, from Ulsan Hyundai, and already a twice-capped full South Korean international. He was the one, you might remember, who scored that stoppage time winner against Jordan in the quarterfinals. And his nickname, incidentally, Lee Dong-gyong, is Tokyo Ri. So perhaps they feel that's an omen. And he's going to help send them to Tokyo. Australia might still have something to say about that. Here's Gabriel Kleur. Goes back. Again, you see the South Koreans don't have too much interest in pressing too high up the pitch. They're quite content to stay compact. They have the lead. Are Australia good enough to play through these lines? Or do they just go direct? Try and spring the likes of Bahaja in behind. Lee Dong-yong trying to get involved. Keanu Bacchus ensuring he doesn't. Jean-Ro. Forward by Bacchus, easily won in the air by Lee Sang-min. And a foul on Jean-Ro by his opposite number, Lee Dong-yong. All rather unnecessary. Double change for the Olyroos. Let's see, Reno Piscopo's probably been the standout player for the Olyroos at this tournament, in place of the rather ineffective Jacob Italiano. And Ben Falami getting just his second appearance at this tournament. Young striker from Ipswich Town. Goes back. Bacchus looking to float it out towards Bahaja. Mistake there by Kim Dae-won, which allows Gabriel Kleur to steal in. Here's Jean-Ro. Useful looking cross up in the air by Lee Sang-min. Alassane Touré waiting for it to drop. And Reno Piscopo's shot charged down by Lee Dong-jun. And Piscopo's remained prone on the turf. Only just introduced to the game. Got the ricochet there and rather knocked the stuffing out of the Wellington Phoenix winger. It's a friendly pat on the head from the giant Jong Tae-wook, who then rather cheekily steals a bottle of water from the Australian physio's bag. They're all getting in on the act, the referee as well. As I say, they all know each other really well. Here's the only goal of the game so far. Kim Dae-won, probably the game's most outstanding player, after Lee Yu-hyun's shot had rebounded off the post. The third time that the Koreans had hit the frame of the goal. Graham Arnold has a big conundrum to solve. So a free drop for the Australians. They were in possession. And on we go, past the midway point of the second half. Reminder, it's not the end of Australia's Olympic dreams, even if they do lose tonight. They would then face Uzbekistan in the third, fourth place playoff on Saturday. The winner of that game would qualify for the Tokyo Games. They'd love to get the job done here tonight. South Korea are such a tough nut to crack. Perennial qualifiers for the Olympics. They've been at each of the last 7 games. Mind you, Uzbekistan wouldn't be any pushover either. Of course, they were the defending champions in this tournament before they were knocked out by a late Saudi Arabian goal earlier on today in Bangkok. Kim Dae-won, beautifully released. Klur's back in position, outside of the boots. Yeah, from Kim Dae-won, which always favoured Tom Glover. But he's very inventive, isn't he? Not afraid to try something new, something a little bit different. Unfortunately, Australia just haven't had that sort of player on show tonight. Danny Jeanreau launching it upfield towards Bahaja. It's a good aerial win that by Lee Sang-min, who actually spent 2019 on loan in Japan to Vivara Nagasaki, where he actually played alongside Jordi Bose, former Sydney FC defender. That's the challenge between Lee Sang-min and Trent Bahaja that has left Bahaja in a touch of discomfort. Jeanreau, first of the loose ball. Into the final 20 minutes in Rangsit. Clipped forward by Morta Kutas. Again, it's more by hope than design. Klur. Bahaja. Spoons up in the air. Nicely controlled by Gersbach. Can he get to the byline? Lee Yu-hyun holding him at bay. Piscopo, Bacchus. Gap wasn't quite there for Piscopo, but it might break here for Falami. It's a better spell of pressure, though, from Australia, who now have the twin strikers up top in Falami and Toure. Klur back through Jeanreau. Bacchus. Jeanreau. Floated forward nicely by Dylan Ryan. It's Klur inside the penalty area, but Lee Sang-min to clear. Great climb by Oh Se-hun, and this is the danger for Australia. They have to try and push numbers forward. Lee Dong-jun is quick. He flew away from Gersbach. He had no option really but to drag him back. And does now Shakrala show a card for that challenge. Wasn't an awful lot of contact, but there was certainly enough to just put him off his stride, and Lee Dong-jun probably made the most of it too. So it is confirmed as a yellow card for the Australian captain. All cards in previous games incidentally wiped at the quarter-final stage, so no danger of missing the final, even if you do pick up a ticket tonight. At the moment, Australia got a bit to do to get there. And another set-piece situation to defend here. And those are the two danger men. Jeanreau and Piscopo guarding the near post. Lee Dong-yong to deliver. He is the set-piece specialist. His goal against Jordan, that late winner, was from a free kick. Not sure he'll go for goal from this angle. But you never know. Yep, he does try it. Well, full of confidence after that late winner against the Jordanians. He was their top scorer in qualifying with 6 goals, Lee Dong-gong. Dylan Ryan. Gabriel Kleur taking out the man in the shape of Kan Young-song. Gabriel Kleur goes to offer the hand of friendship. Not sure Kanga's too interested in it. Didn't miss him, did he? Kim Hak-bum, who delivered Asian Games success 2 years ago, might be on the brink of delivering an Olympic Games spot as well. Gabriel Kleur has been warned. No more of that, otherwise you'll follow the other fullback into the notebook. Well, Graham Arnold has made all his changes off the bench. If they were to get level, they can have a 4th change in extra time, but that equaliser has to appear first, and they're starting to run out of time. It's been a game where they've really been unable to create a whole lot. The Olyroos. But still time. Mordakutis. It's all a bit tight in there for Piscopo. Now could drop here for Lee Dong-gyong with the left peg. That should do it for South Korea. In off the post, Lee Dong-gyong makes it 2. And South Korea, barring a late fight back by the Olyroos, are heading to the Tokyo Olympics. Well, Australia just couldn't get out of their own half. And as soon as possession was pilfered, you feared for them. Dylan Ryan got drawn towards the ball. And Lee Dong-gyong with the trusty left boot that he'd already practiced with for the earlier free kick. Tom Glover beaten at the near post. He won't be particularly happy about that. But it was an excellent finish with a little help of a touch off the woodwork. Well, the look on Al Hassan Touré's face probably says everything you need to know. Australia really have been second best tonight. And that scoreline is no accident. There's going to be a card here, though, for the goal scorer, who's immediately blotted his copybook with that late challenge. What an impact he's had off the bench. And I'm not talking about this challenge here on Denny Jonro. Lee Dong-gyong, remember the name, called up by Paolo Bento for senior internationals in October last year. Made his full debut. As mentioned, 6 goals in qualifying for this under-23 tournament, top scorer. And has he just sealed their place in Tokyo? It's going to take an almighty comeback by the Olyroos in a game where they've barely created a single chance. Just that first half opportunity for Dylan Ryan, the volley that went just wide. And on the back foot again here, Oh Se-hun, it's Kim Dae-won. Keanu Bacchus did really well. It's going to be a corner for South Korea, might have been more, might have been curtains. Had Bacchus not done his job. Seen a bit of variation from Kim Dae-won's corner. This is more of the conventional delivery. Kim Dong-hyun on the volley and off the head of Gersbach. And away for another corner from the other side. Glover punching under pressure from his own teammate there, really. Gersbach taking no chances. Lee Dong-kyung to take the corner. See if he can add an assist to his goal. Kang. Decent strike from the left fullback, Kang Yun-sung. Just struggling to keep it down. Fullback from Jeju United. It's going to happen for Australia. Needs to start happening pretty soon. There's a man down injured. Australia don't care about that. Ben Falami's going to have a dig from a long way out. Somebody has to, let's be honest. Back through Jean Ro, quickly shut down by Lee Dong-jun. Corner count is another indication, really, of the domination of the Koreans tonight. Have been the outstanding team in the tournament, and they've proved it this evening. Here's Piscopo. Australia desperate for a bit of spark from somewhere. And now Bahaja's got away from his man for the first time tonight. It's Trent Bahaja with the cutback, and he could only pick out Lee Sang-min. The first and probably only time they've managed to get him in behind. Oh, now the referee's not helping out. And of course, under the new rules, he can blow the whistle and restart things if he inadvertently gets involved. And Graham Arnold's face wears the look of a man who knows that really his team just haven't been able to find the answers this evening. Won Du-jae. Well protected by Oh Se-hun. Here's Kim Dae-won. Lee Yu-hyun. Lee Dong-yong. Lee Dong-jun. Now Kang Yun-sung. Again, Korea so comfortable in possession. Able to just spray the ball around at will, really. Australia chasing shadows. Lee Sang-min. Lovely touch by Lee Dong-yong. And that's where it breaks down. Gersbach and Ryan sort things out defensively for Australia. It's at the other end of the pitch, really, that they've had all their problems. It's a total lack of creativity, total lack of threat on Song Bum-kun's goal. They will need to be much better against Uzbekistan. That's the way it turns out on Saturday, back in Bangkok, if they're to claim that third and final spot for the Tokyo Games in July. Bacchus biting in the challenge. Finally something for Song Bum Kun to do. Kang cleverly protecting the ball. Wondu Jay had no right to get through both Bahaja and Jean-Ro there, but somehow did. Tough going for the Olyroos. They're a good side, led by Kim Hak-bum. Lee Dong-gyong. Oh Se-hun playing it between themselves at the moment before Ryan made an intervention. And it goes to Kim Dae-won. There's a third goal imminent. Oh, Glover nearly done at his near post, but he stretched out a strong right arm and it'll be a corner. The step overs, and he went through the legs in the end, didn't he, of Gabriel Clerc? Mesmerising stuff. Good save by Glover. What a prospect. Not sure he'll be with Daegu FC for long, Kim Dae-won, with performances like this. Lee Yu-hyun. Shut down by Ben Falami. He only got his first taste of these championships as a 99th minute substitute against Syria for Reno Piscopo in that quarter-final win. All of which left and still leaves Connor O'Toole as the only outfield player yet to be used by Graham Arnold at these championships. Jordan Holmes and Daniel Margush, the two other reserve goalkeepers who haven't made an appearance. South Korea making their third and final change. And finally, Australia have seen the back of Kim Dae-won. Oh, what a performance. Kim Tae-hyun is his replacement. Currently on loan at Seoul Eland in the K-League Challenge division from his parent club Ulsan. There we go, the shot count, 14 for the Koreans, just 2 all night for Australia. And to be honest, apart from that effort from Dylan Ryan, I'm struggling to remember what the other one was. Here come the Koreans again. Lee Dong-jun barged into by Mordakutas, advantage played. Oh Se-hun waits, it's Lee Dong-gyong on the ball. Wants another option. Piscopo will steal it, but only momentarily. Yeah, it's been that sort of a night for Australia. Oh, look at that. From the fullback, if you don't mind. Lee Yu-hyun turned Reno Piscopo inside out. And Piscopo's looking for a bit of revenge, I think. Yeah, he's left his foot in there, Piscopo, which is all rather unnecessary, but it's all about the frustration that Australia are feeling. They just have not been able to lay a glove on South Korea. I think Piscopo's been booked for that challenge. Not that our camera director allowed us to see it. Here's Kim Tae-hyun, freshly arrived off the bench. Here's a left-sided central defender, so Maybe the Koreans have just shifted to a back three for these closing minutes. They've been so fluid, doesn't really matter. Here's Won-do Jae, who along with Kim Dong-hyun has kept the base solid enough in defensive midfield. And allowed the more creative types, the likes of Kim Dae-won and Lee Dong-yong off the bench, to flourish. Well, they've been almost embarrassingly good, South Korea. Oh Se-hun, and guilty of holding. Australia finally have the ball back. As we move into stoppage time, there is confirmation of that yellow card that I was fairly convinced had been shown to Reno Piscopo. And we're into 3 additional minutes, but the game really looks to be up for the Olyroos. It's going to be all on Saturday against Uzbekistan, where you'd hope they can regroup and refocus and claim that final ticket for Tokyo. Nice little back heel by Keanu Bacchus. Is there something in this for Australia at the end? Al Hassan Toure has been shut out virtually the whole game. Goes back to sling it in, and Jong Tae-wook hasn't looked too comfortable with those crosses along the ground. A couple of slices behind for corners, when really he could have left that for the goalkeeper, but maybe a late sight of the Korean goal via a corner. All the way back to Bacchus. Well, that's quite frankly just wasteful from the Olyroos. Why on earth did they not just play that ball into the penalty area? They've had so few chances to do that. Jean-Ro. Back through Toure, that's better. Kleur. Gabriel Kleur. And Lee Sang-min in the end. Or rather, Jong Tae-wook, I should say. A little bit of late pressure for the Olyroos. All too little, all too late. Piscopo's corner. Might drop here for Bacchus. There was a suggestion of a hand or an arm there in use from Mordakutas. Here's Bahaja, crossing from way too deep an area. Still might fall for him. Had no control over the release for Gersbach. And the Koreans should be able to see it at home from here. Disappointing night for Australia. I had such high expectations, but in the end, you have to admit that really they've just been outplayed by a team that is just much, much better. And that result is confirmed. South Korea maintain their 100% winning record at these championships, as Australia miss their first chance to qualify for the Olympics in Tokyo. They get a second bite at the cherry on Saturday against Uzbekistan, and they may yet make it. But for now, the celebrations are all with the Koreans, who are into their second AFC Under-23 Championship final. And more importantly, they are off to Tokyo. And they were good value tonight as well. Lee Dong-yong came off the bench and scored the game-clinching second goal. Before that, one of the stars of the match, Kim Dae-won, got the first. In truth, they might have had a few